I wanted to show you the new Pear Deck home screen, which has kind of streamlined the process of creating presentations from Google Slides, also finding recent files, having some help available right from your home screen. So basically, the first time that you sign in, it'll tell you Get Add-on. So click on that, and then just make sure that you have the add-on. After you've done that, you can just go ahead and refresh your Pear Deck home screen. You'll see the option to create a presentation, and when you click on that, instead of before going into the Pear Deck editor, it will now take you to a Google Slides presentation where the first slide tells you how to get started. Before I go there though, I just wanted to go back to the home screen and show you some more things that you'll find on this page. So again, you'll click to create a presentation in Google Slides now using the add-on. You can start a vocab list if you want to use Pear Deck vocabulary right here. If you want to create in the old Pear Deck editor, you can just click down there and it will load up the old Pear Deck editor. So if you're looking for that, you can find it. But most people are using the add-on through Google Slides. It's more feature rich, easier in other ways. So this process is kind of streamlining things. Any recent files you can find right here. If you can't find the file there, you can just open it right within Drive. So it will search your Google Drive. You'll also find Learn and Explore, so you can find a featured Pear Deck here. You can copy the deck. You can watch a video tutorial on the Pear Deck and Google Slides integration, and they'll have some featured posts here that you can choose from. You'll still have your Sessions tab. It used to be on the left, and now it will be at the top here, and this is the same really as it used to be. So if you want to open an old session, you could just click on it and open an old session right there, or you can open the file directly there. The help is also available right there, so if you need to get any help, you can find that there. Need help with the teacher dashboard, just click on that and you'll be taken directly to the help article on that. But let me go back to the home screen and let's dive into some more tips for using the Pear Deck add-on. When you launch from Create a Presentation, this first slide here will give you some tips for getting started. I'm not going to use that right now, so I'm going to just go ahead and delete that and start with a new slide. Your Pear Deck will now be found right here in your add-ons. Now that you're here, you can just start creating like you're going to create any Google Slides presentation. Add a title slide, then your next slide, say you want to make it interactive text. Then you can go ahead and just use this Ask Students a Question and add text. And you'll see it'll say adding interactive question. And then to indicate that the question's been added, it shows it down here, this little bottom bar. Now it tells you do not remove this bar. Don't remove this bar, otherwise it will not be an interactive question type anymore. That being said, if you created this and you're like, you know what, I wanted this to be a normal slide and not actually a text slide, if you delete this bottom bar, even if you don't delete this, then it becomes a normal type again. All right, so that's one thing that you can do. If you want to ask 2 questions in a row that are free response text, you can actually duplicate the slide and start from that. Ask students a second question. Please respond to this second prompt, and this will again be a text type question. If you want to change this question type, you don't want it to be text, you can go ahead and change it just by clicking on a different type. So say you wanted to actually make it multiple choice. Press next, and then you would put your options in here. If you need to add another, you can do that. If you added too many, you can delete. And then you would update the slide. And you can see down here it says students choose an option, and down here it actually shows you the multiple choice options that you gave students there. The next thing that I want to show you is a drawing type slide. So with the drawing slide, students will be able to draw anywhere on the slide, okay? So as soon as you make this an interactive draw, as it tells you, students draw anywhere directly on this slide. So you could use this to have them like label, they can point things out. If you want to ask them a prompt and have them then draw, then make sure you leave adequate room. So you might want to do something like this, ask them a prompt. Okay, leave it on the left side, and then students would be able to draw on this whole portion of the slide when they're drawing. The other types are like a website slide. So that would actually embed the website versus if you added a website like this, right? Then they would click on it and they would go out to the website in another tab. So if you did that versus if you did this, then here it shows that it will show in students' browser to go to google.com. So that's a website type. And then of course you have the number, you have the draw, and you still have the draggable. So let me show you how that works. You can add dots, you can add all different types. You want to have a check mark and then add another, say, number, and then add another, maybe math symbol. This doesn't make any sense, but you can do that, and you can also adjust the size. So keep that in mind, because the draggable, they're going to be able to drag those icons that you chose anywhere on your slide. So make sure that you've set your problem up correctly. And so, I don't know, maybe you would have an inequality and maybe you'd have them check the one that's correct and they could add these draggables in. Or you could just have a map and then have them point out a location or something like that. So the draggable type, just keep in mind, whatever's here on your canvas is what they're going to be able to drag on top of. So it works identically to this drawing type. Same mindset is that this canvas is what they're drawing on, this canvas is what they're dragging on, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, if you want some inspiration, then you get these ideas that they give you. So like a beginning of the lesson, you might want to ask them, draw 2 things you already know about this topic. And so they have a slide format for you. So it's a template slide. So that's really great to give you some inspiration to start. And since we're in Google Slides, you can just drag this right up to make it the beginning. And you can edit this. So if you want them to type, you can have type. You can change whatever it says here. You can also change, the format of this. So say you want 3 of these, you could do 1, 2, 3, and then get a third number there and change that to draw type 3 things that you know. So that can all be adjusted. These are just some inspiration. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do something during the lesson. I really like some of these. So write down some events that are important. Let's pull that in. And so again, you can modify all of this stuff and students will be able to write their response because that's the question type that it is. Drag a dot for how you're feeling. A great way to do a temperature check, and you can see that students will drag this little icon on that type of slide. There's also like a labeling diagram if you want to use that. Again, you can change the image that's in there. You can just use this as kind of like your template and you can play with it because we're in Google Slides here. And then there's also end of lesson. So a nice little reflective activity. Pretend that your classmate was absent and you're writing something to fill them in and put that all the way at the end. When you're done with everything, you're going to present with Pear Deck using this right here, not this present, because that would not be an interactive Pear Deck. Keep in mind, since we're in Google Slides, you can share this with somebody else. You can add multiple editors and you could have students work together to create something. That's the beauty of this all being integrated into Google Slides. Then when we present with Pear Deck, that's going to convert the slides into something that you're very familiar with. And so then that will be, static. You can't change this, edit it at this point. But this is the same old how students are going to join, enter, and then you have the same functionality that you can open the dashboard in another tab and so forth. So that's a little introduction to the new dashboard and using the basics of the Google Slides add-on with Pear Deck. Hope that helps.